Conservative group takes aim at Wall Street in report claiming big banks have undercut firearms industry. The American Accountability Foundation accuses banks of launching an asymmetrical attack on the firearms industry. A conservative group is calling out the largest and most influential institutions on Wall Street for allegedly discriminating against the firearms industry and, in their view, working to undermine America's constitutional right to keep and bear arms. The American Accountability Foundation, in a new report, highlights how some of the biggest names on Wall Street, including Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo, and Bank of America, have allegedly used their control over capital to undercut firearms manufacturers, retailers, and organizations representing lawful gun owners. Over the last decade, significant media attention has been paid to the left's obsession with using banks and asset managers to end fossil fuels. Unfortunately, very little attention has been given on the left's use of certain banks to chip away at the legal private ownership and use of firearms. The AAF Research Team writes in a memo shared with Fox Business. Unfortunately, law-abiding Americans who exercise their Second Amendment rights have a proverbial bullseye on their backs placed there, in a large part by center banks and their left-wing comrades who are wanting to undermine Americans' constitutional right to keep and bear arms. AAF states. In the report titled "Debanked by the Banks," the group points to policies adopted by large financial institutions that have cut off firearms-related groups from access to capital and lines of credit. AAF cites how Bank of America, for example, in 2018 announced that it would stop lending money to gun manufacturers that make similar military-inspired rifles for civilian use, like the AR-15, which have been used in multiple mass shootings, according to the New York Times. We want to contribute in any way we can to reduce these mass shootings, Bank of America Vice Chair Annie Finucane said at the time. The debanked memo also notes how Bank of America and JP Morgan Chase reportedly pressured business software company Institute to enact a policy that forbade gun manufacturers and sellers from using its accounting program QuickBooks. An oversight investigation led by Senator Ted Cruz, Republican Texas, revealed that Institute had a policy that prohibited guns and firearms manufacturing from receiving QuickBooks payroll services. That policy has since been reversed. The Senate Commerce Committee held a briefing on the matter in 2023 where JP Morgan acknowledged it was the source of the service policy. A JP Morgan spokesperson previously told Fox Business, "For any third-party processors that process payments in aggregate, we are unable to perform the due diligence expected by regulators for several high-regulated industries, including Internet firearms retailers, so we cannot process such payments for these processors. Any such merchants can look to work directly with us rather than through a third-party processor. We do allow payments to be processed through these processors for brick-and-mortar firearms retailers." Bank of America did not readily respond to requests for comment. From a reputational perspective, gun makers have created an environment of intense scrutiny by manufacturing and marketing inherently dangerous products to civilian consumers. People are fed up and are not buying the rules of individual responsibility. They want to know how killers got their weapon and who made it. Munoz told Fox Business. He added that gun makers are risk clients from a business perspective as well. On the manufacturing side, gun makers are event-driven business and see demand increase when social and political tensions rise. They see revenue decline when consumer discretionary income decreases, and they face intense political and legal pressure, again because they refuse to take ownership of their risk their products create in society. On the retail side, gun sellers handle a lot of cash. That's a burden for a bank, Munoz said. If banks face a financial risk for investing in the gun industry, they also face a political risk from appearing too hostile towards it. Actions by big banks to limit work with the gun and fossil fuel industries have incensed Republican lawmakers, who have accused them of siding with the political left. In 2021, Texas lawmakers enacted a law that prohibits government contracts with entities that discriminate against the firearms industry. Last year, Kentucky warned 11 major financial companies, including Citigroup Inc., JP Morgan Chase, and BlackRock Inc., of potential divestment over their boycott of energy companies. Banks should make lending decisions relying on objective, risk-based metrics, not based on what is considered politically favorable, said Representative Andy Barr, Republican Kentucky, a member of the House Financial Services Committee. Financial institutions should stick to the business of banking instead of politicizing our financial system to please the left. Groups like Guns Down America, meanwhile, urge customers to seek institutions that represent their values. The goal is to see financial services consumers pick a bank with policies and public positions that align with the goal of ending gun violence, Munoz said.